When this survey was done at the beginning of the lockdown in Rwanda, when most of the companies had closed, and a few of them were still operating, but the majority were closed. And so they reported their turnover had dropped about 80%. But what struck us the most in the whole survey, these entrepreneurs were not really shouting out for help. They wanted to be part of the solution. They were asking, what can we do to be part of the solution? What are the best practices that help to support your staff, to support the economy? And so they were really taking a lot of responsibility, and that's why we felt like it's important to continue monitoring the situation and support them.
Well, as you've just mentioned, SME turnover has dropped from 30 million Rwandan francs all the way to 4 million Rwandan francs. You know, what impact is all this having on the finances and the economy here in the country?
Yeah, the effect is, it's like there is a snowball effect in the sense that when for the entrepreneurs having their revenues dropping down like that, it shows and that the liquidity, the financial liquidity goes down as well. And it was also one of the biggest concerns that mid-term and long-term, their liquidity might really dry out. And when without liquidity, they can pay their staff cannot spend. So it's a whole snowball effect that affects at the end the whole economy as such. When no one is spending and no one is earning, then it's a deadlock.
A recovery strategy is one of the needed tools right at this moment. What would you recommend SMEs to include in order for them to be able to bounce back?
Definitely the first thing is to really stay calm, to not take any rushed decision in a situation like this of panic, of crisis. One is easily tempted to decide very fast, think short term. And so we motivated entrepreneurs to look for partners who can advise them, to not rush to quick decisions and trust that solutions are being prepared, that it can be a long-term crisis, and it's important to take it step by step. And also to think of opportunities that might hide in this crisis. It's extremely important. We noticed that the entrepreneurs started realizing, oh, in fact, I could be doing online streaming. I could have, this is the time to work on things I never had time to do. So I would encourage entrepreneurs to try to see opportunity in this and to maximize on the time that they have, time that normally an entrepreneur never has, to work on things that are that will be beneficial maybe at the long term, not directly, but at the long term, and to look for business development partners who are trustworthy, who can help them bridge the period of crisis.
Look for business development partners, stay motivated, and find new opportunities during these tough times. Those are some of the things that you've mentioned. But also, what role does the private sectors like yourself play at a time like this?
I think we are needed more than ever, in fact, because the entrepreneurs, well, I like to differentiate between a businessman and an entrepreneur. I'm talking about entrepreneurs. A businessman is someone who would invest and expecting return on investment, or who would think of making a living, thinking of surviving. An entrepreneur most of the time has a vision, has a longer term thinking, and would like to establish something long-term. And these kind of people, they invested a lot over the years. They invested their time, their energy. And I find it is our responsibility in the private sector to support them. We are working on packages, financial packages. The government of Rwanda has established an economy recovery plan that includes different steps. And this recovery plan can serve for us as development partners, as financial institutions. It is like a guiding framework that can help us to know exactly where is the biggest need to be able to support the economy to pick up again.
What are your recommendations and thoughts on some of the government's policies and interventions that it has come up with for the economic recovery?
Yeah, I think as a country we have done a really great job. I would like to mention the initiative of the Private Sector Federation, where there is an SME response clinic that addresses questions that the entrepreneurs have. I think it's extremely important that we show that we trust and that they have answers to their questions, that we have time for them and we address their questions, and that we help them build resilience and learn to understand, okay, this is maybe a crisis I never have expected, but I can learn something from it, or I really have to learn something from it, because we never know, this can happen again. And so our biggest role as business development partners and the private sector is to work together with these entrepreneurs, to guide them in this process and to negotiate solutions, especially in terms of financing. Liquidity is a big issue. Liquidity will remain a big issue for a while. Areas like tourism and hospitality, obviously, they are the most impacted sectors, but other sectors are impacted as well. When we look at entertainment, for example, there are no events, no gatherings. There are a lot of event entertainment companies that have zero revenues and they have no outlook when, again, they can start receiving their clients. So there are a lot of challenges still out there. And one of the key solutions will be, on one hand, to find financial packages that can help the entrepreneurs to bridge and to think beyond the emergency we are in right now. And on the other side, we will also need to consider digitalization. Obviously, this is the solution that has helped many companies to be able to survive in this crisis. And I think it was a wake-up call that we should not underestimate the value of e-commerce, e-marketing. It has allowed many entrepreneurs to stay in touch with their customers. So those are opportunities that we see and that we will need to support entrepreneurs to implement in the near future.